Good morning. For those of you in the foyer, please come forward as we listen to our prelude music.
With the theme of July being Journey, decided to do journey music from one of the earliest journey stories, Don Quixote. So this is 4 pieces from the suite In the Footsteps of Don Quixote. We have Sancho Panza, Faithful Companion, is the first. El Caballero, Don Quixote, second. Dulcinea, the love interest, is the third. And finally, Rocinante, the faithful horse. And this is Sidney Spell, dual work, which we've been here a few times. Thank you for coming out.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As we begin, please turn off all electronic devices. I invite you to enjoy the chapel in the back of the sanctuary and note joys and concerns in the book there. If you have little ones, we have nursery downstairs, and after our service, I invite you all downstairs to enjoy hospitality and greet one another. Finally, please take note of the announcements in your order of service, with many ways to be engaged in this vibrant community.
Good morning. This is my first time up here. Read my script. I'll follow you. So my name is Paul Carlson. I'm a member of the board here. I'm in training to be the treasurer. Give me a break. People show up to see me for the first time. This is great. So, I'm just going to read what I'm supposed to read and we'll today, elaborate more next time. Because come wherever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, your color, your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter who you love, how you speak, whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. You are welcome here whether you come with laughter here, in your heart, or tears. You are welcome here. If you come here with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, you are welcome.
is our final Sunday where we explore the concept of journey. We have heard from many who have shared their spiritual journeys from a variety of backgrounds, and we've also had a couple of guest speakers who have explored the concept of journey with us, which has been, I think, very fun and enlightening. And today we will be hearing from Ann Hess and Mary Norton, members of our community, who are going to be sharing their spiritual journeys within Earth traditions and paganism. So I'm very excited to hear what they have to say. Earth, teach me stillness as the grasses are still and quiet. Earth, teach me suffering as old stones suffer with memory. Earth, teach me humility as blossoms are humble with beginnings. Earth, teach me caring as the mother who secures her young. Earth, teach me courage as the tree which stands all alone. Earth, teach me limitation as the ant which crawls on the ground. Earth, teach me freedom as the eagle which soars in the sky. Earth, teach me resignation as the leaves which die and fall. Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring. Earth, teach me to forget myself as the melted snow forgets its life. Earth, teach me to remember kindness as dry fields leave the flame. Please rise and embody your spirit and join us in our opening song, number 331, Life is the Greatest Gift of All.
direction of the east, which corresponds to the element of air, which is the element of the mind, and reason and rational thought. We acknowledge the direction of the south, which is the element of fire, which fuels our passion and our creativity and gives us a zest for life. We acknowledge the direction of the west, the element of water, the element of emotion, of love, and of ultimate compassion.
Please remain standing, joining with this chant. It's very simple. The words are the earth, the fire, the water, the earth, the air, return. That's all you have to remember. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return. Return, return, return. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return, 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 return. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return, return, return. Again. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return, 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 return. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return, return, return. One more time. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return, 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 return. The fire, the water, the earth, the air, return, return, return. Thank you. Please sit.
I'm still Melissa.
Oh, good.
I know. Why I'm here? I'm here because I was raised in a strict Texas Southern Baptist home and church. Isn't that enough? My father was a deacon in church since I was 9 years old. I even sang at his ordination. My preacher great-grandfather was there. Every time the door is open, you can bet we were there. I was taught that Catholics were going to hell for worshiping idols, Methodists for being so open-minded, and heaven forbid if we were not Christian, which I was told Mormons were not Christian. God was something you feared, someone who watched everything you did. He knew when you acted up, lied, or snuck that extra brownie after dinner, and he was going to know you. When I was 13, I began to question everything, especially religion. How did so many guys with very Anglo-Saxon names write these books in the Bible? Why do we have the Old Testament if Jesus was supposed to bring the New Testament? If some people and Christians believed that people who committed suicide were going straight to hell, does that mean my mother, who killed herself when I was 4, was in hell? Who tells a child that? How did God, who was supposed to be all about love and kindness, let bad things happen to little kids, elderly people, and those of us trying our damnedest just to get through life? No one had answers for me, and I was just supposed to not ask questions like that. Go sit down and be a good little girl. I did my best as an adult to do what I was told to be by my church. I got married, I had babies, I sang in the choir. However, I had tattoos, drove the wrong car, had a menial job, married the wrong guy, and didn't have enough money, so I wasn't good enough. I made some poor choices 20 years ago. I felt very alone. When I called up my church and begged for someone to come see me in jail, to talk to, someone to pray with me, not one person showed up. I was studying a book on world religions one day during a prison religious program when I found out about Unitarian Universalism. I immediately felt things click. That this right here, can you see it? I can still meditate with Buddha, light incense, and sing gospel hymns. And it's okay. Where has this been all my life? I came to South Valley about 4 months ago after moving from Cody, Wyoming. I found y'all through the website, so it does work. I had a wonderful, but not slightly awkward, conversation with my good friend Rochelle before I left Cody, who I hope is watching this today because I asked her to. About how she balances being spiritual and still being true to who you are inside. Her words of encouragement inspired me to start back on my spiritual journey. I hadn't been to church in over 20 years, except for the occasional wedding or funeral. I have felt so much love since the moment I walked in the door. I met this crazy lady from Texas who smiled and hugged my neck. Karen. We're both from Texas. By the second week, I was getting involved in the choir, and now I'm involved in other areas with such joy and hope, I can hardly find the words to express how I feel. My soul is hungry for learning. My heart and mind are so open, and I feel the call to serve in what way has not been revealed to me yet. I have met some wonderful people, and with some amazing stories. There is so much love here. This is probably one of the first times in my life I have truly felt accepted for who I am in this place in my life. Me, a backslidden, tattooed, bisexual, slightly insane girl with a past living in Texas in sin with her LDS boyfriend, and you still love me. And I feel blessed to have all y'all in my life. Thank you.
Children and those who had heart may assemble over here. I had to grab a prop. Okay, I don't bite. Come on. Up. You can come closer. He doesn't bite either. I want you to be able to see him clearly. Okay. So, August 1st in modern times is just another day in summer, right? Nothing special. Well, yeah, and a lot of people don't like the month of August. Students don't like the month of August, and some teachers don't like the month of August starting because it means they've got to go back to school. The parents and grandparents out there, however, might have a very different opinion. In ancient times, however, August 1st was very, very special. In places like Ireland, France, Spain, and parts of Great Britain, this was an extremely important day. It was the day of the first harvest, and it was first named after this gentleman. He's Luke. And all of you who are trying to see, he is, in Celtic mythology, a great king and a god. Just a word, we're not talking about an all-powerful being here. In Celtic pagan mythology, at least, a god is a job title. It is not it's not the god of something. If you're a god or a goddess, that means that you are a spiritual being who is powerful and who chooses to help the tribe with in whatever ways you can. So God is, this God, Lu, was once human, as were all the Celtic gods, and he was a king. And he was the bringer of the harvest. It is said that his mother leveled and did all the plains of Ireland so that they could grow their crops. And that was such a religious job that she died from overwork. And so Lou declared a holiday on August 1st to celebrate his mother's life. And to this day in Ireland, on August 1st, they have horse fairs, they have the cutting of the first wheat or barley, which they make into loaves of bread. Now, it used to be in medieval times, this day was taken over by the Christians, turned into Lammas or Loafmas. It was a day of celebration where the farmers brought the grains from their first harvest that had been milled and turned into bread to the church to be blessed, and then they were distributed to the poor of the parish. But Lou and Lammas has done a lot of changes over the years, and in modern Celtic and other pagan traditions, this day is known as Lammas, and Lammas means first loaf or first harvest, or Lunasa, which basically is a Celtic word that translates into Lou's Day. So, on Tuesday, you should do something special. All of you should do something special to honor Lou, because you know what? He's basically considered the god of the harvest and the grain, and without him, you wouldn't have any bread. Or beer. Of any kind. So you should all get up early, and you guys help your parents or your mom bake some bread or some muffins, maybe for breakfast or something like that. And all you adults who drink, have some beer in his honor. And you might even want to go out, and if you have a tree, or if you have a vegetable garden or something like that, dip a little bit of that beer in honor of the Celtic god that perhaps made it all possible. Thank you very much. You can go have some fun now. Let's sing them to their classes.
Our worship service offering split recipient for July and August is the Crossroads Urban Center Emergency Food Pantry. Crossroads is a local grassroots organization that serves and advocates for Utahns with low incomes, those with disabilities, and people of color to meet basic survival needs and improve their quality of life. Our offering donations will help Crossroads open their second emergency food pantry this fall in the Poplar Grove neighborhood, where there currently is a food desert. Please give generously. Will you join me in saying these words printed in the order of service for our offering? We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share in the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. Dark Canyons organizations thanks you for your gifts. We turn into number 517. This will be a responsive reading. You will say the things that are italicized. And after the reading, please stay seated for the meditation song. I, who am the beauty of the green earth and the white moon among the stars and the mysteries of the waters, I call upon your soul to arise and come unto me. For I am the soul of nature that gives life to the universe. From me all things proceed, and unto me they must return. Let my worship be in the heart that rejoices, for behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. Let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, mirth and reverence within you. And you who seek to know me, know that your seeking and yearning will avail you not unless you know the mystery. For if that which you seek you find not within yourself, you will not find it without. For behold, I have been with you from the beginning, and I am that which is attained at the end of desire.
Please remain seated as we sing our meditation song number 134, Our World is a Garden.
Hi, my name is Norton. I've been coming here for quite some time now, and I've been involved with the pagan community within this community very shortly after I entered these doors. And this is my spiritual path. I suppose I started my spiritual journey in high school. Actually, junior high school. I imagine a lot of you did the same. It's that time of life when we start questioning what we learned in our younger years. For me, the questioning started when I picked up an interest in Egyptian mythology. I started reading about Horus and Osiris and Isis and compared them to what I had learned in Catholic school about Jesus and his life and his ways. They seemed alike in a lot of ways. My religious education teacher, for I was no longer going to Catholic school at that point, couldn't or wouldn't answer my questions about this. I also wondered if maybe God had just tried to bring this message many times throughout human history and only succeeded with Jesus and his disciples. That notion was also rebuffed. I played along with the religion until I was in my 40s. But secretly I knew that Christianity in general and Roman Catholicism in particular was not a good fit. Not that I didn't try. I even entered a Catholic order for a couple of years in my mid-20s. But I know now it wasn't a true vocational calling, but a subconscious way to get out from underneath my parents' rule. While a novice, I met a priest who told me I was destined for great things. But I don't think eventually becoming a pagan minister was what he had in mind. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. During those years when I was still nominally a Catholic, I also found myself getting very interested in Celtic ancient history, especially regarding the Druid class and Celtic mythology. It all sounded so reasonable. The gods of the Celts were never like the gods of the Greeks or the Egyptians or the Romans or any other civilization. There are no Celtic myths regarding the creation of the world or the universe. The gods and goddesses were all once human. They may have special gifts, but they were human. I also read a very interesting book called The Shroud of Turin, which has a great argument for the idea that Jesus was not dead when he was buried in the tomb, merely in a very deep coma. The spices used to wrap him actually saved his life. And when Joseph of Arimathea came to the tomb before the women, he realized Jesus was alive and spirited him away to be fully healed. I had long since stopped believing Jesus was divine, but here was a decent scientific explanation for the miracle of resurrection. That book, along with meeting a follower of Wicca for the first time in my life at work, sealed my fate regarding staying in Catholicism. Once my daughter Karen had her first communion and left Catholic school for public school, I knew my time as identifying as a Catholic was over. But I still had a ways to go before I found my true spiritual calling. I became involved in studying Wicca and found the ideas within this nature-based religion resonated with me. I didn't agree with all of the ideas, but their approach to religion left me more room to grow and to incorporate my fledgling ideas regarding Celtic spirituality more fully. At about the same time, I first stepped into South Valley. We came, my husband and I, on the invitation of a former member of this congregation, Dave Mason, who was a guitar student of my husband's at the time. David was asked to play at a Sunday service, and Karen and I came with him. I will admit I was very pleased and surprised at the reception we received. I felt very welcomed and accepted. No one asked personal questions, but greeted me and asked about me, but not about my beliefs. At that first service, I also met an atheist, but for the second time in my life. His name was Pete Williams. Some of you here might remember him. I will admit that Pete's almost immediate friendship was one of the reasons we returned to South Valley and why we became members and so involved. He told us all about the Regal program, and we felt that this would be a great way to expose Karen to morality that didn't include religious bias. Outside of South Valley, I became very involved with a local pagan church and the broader pagan community. And within that church of the Sacred Circle, I at one point became a minister for them. I also began to foster the idea here at SVU-US that pagans in the congregation should be able to participate in pagan-based services during certain times. I organized a few services around various pagan festivals and did a few pagan light Sunday services. Eventually, I helped form the Cups chapter here. But my spiritual journey was still happening. After meeting a Celtic Dree, which by the way is the singular of Druid. Druid is actually a plural noun, not a singular. At a local esoteric store, which he was working in and then later owned, I became more and more interested in Celtic spirituality and drifted away from Wicca. Since I am of Celtic heritage, learning more about them seemed to make sense. And what I learned made me eventually realize this was probably my true spiritual path. Over time, I withdrew from the larger pagan community and followed mostly a solitary or dual Celtic path. I did this with the full support of my husband, David, who followed me and supported me as I found my way. Although he and I differ somewhat in our spiritual beliefs, we also share the same basic ideas. These days, I style myself as a Celtic Pagan Unitarian Universalist. CPUU, SAPU. I have come to believe in a greater something that is referred to in ancient times as the source. As the source, along with the Celtic pantheon and my own few special spiritual protectors, Lou being one of them. And for those of you who have really good eyesight, I'm wearing a Celtic Bridget's cross. She's my patroness. While I don't believe anyone's spiritual journey ends before death, I know I have found a good resting place in this congregation and in my own spiritual perspective of things that tend to be very eclectic at times.
Although I was raised in a strict LDS household, and although I was a true believer, I was always drawn towards something else. When I was a young child, my dad would read to me from an illustrated Bible. I distinctly remember repeatedly asking him to show me the elaborate illustration of Lucifer, with horns and tail. I now know that what I was seeing was not just the devil, which by the way spelled backwards means lived, but also the god Pan, who reportedly drew women away from their villages and into the wild by playing his pipes. Even then, I heard those pipes calling for me. When I was 19, I read the Clan of the Cave Bear series, and my mind was blown. In those pages, I read not just about totems and personal guides, but about a goddess instead of a god. I gobbled up book after book about the goddess, polytheism, and paganism. It was during this time that I first met a fortune teller, and I had her comment. I don't remember what she said, but I remember walking away thinking, oh, I want that. My journey deepened when I bought my own deck of tarot cards, and a new world of archetypes was opened up for me. I dabbled on my own with ritual and divination for a few years, and finally participated in a group ritual when I was 25. Connecting with the earth, others, the moon, and the divine was something I will always remember. That was nearly 20 years ago. And since then, I have read and studied, but more importantly, I have experienced. I have experienced Aphrodite, who taught me that to be beautiful, I must care about how my actions affect others. I have experienced Coyote the trickster, who taught me not to take myself seriously. I have also experienced the god Hades, who was my patron. It was a big one for me. Taught me not to fear death. That is the core of what pagan is for me, authentic experience. I have come to view religion as a participation activity, one that requires continual engagement. My beliefs about magic and the gods have evolved to the point where the only thing I can say about the other world with any authenticity is, I don't know. But my experiences are much more important to me than my knowledge. When I gather in a circle with other people to call the directions and draw down the moon, I feel the divine. When I throw tarot cards for someone and connect for a brief moment with their psyche, I am connected with the gods. When I am in nature with my bare feet touching the dirt, I am in my sacred temple. As a pagan, I worship what I can see. Every month, the moon waxes and wanes. Each year, the days grow longer, then shorter, then longer in an endless cycle. The 8 pagan Sabbaths are celebrations of the planting seasons, the harvest seasons, and the still points in between. I love to dance to the drums, chant the chants, and do the spells. Not because I expect a specific outcome, but because for me, these are the things that facilitate my transcendence. We already read this as a group, but I want to close with an excerpt from The Charge with the Goddess that was written by Stark. Let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, love and reverence within you. And you who seek to know me, know that your seeking and yearning will avail you not, unless you know the mystery. For if that which you seek you find not within yourself, you will never find it within.
Please now open your hymnals to hymn 175. And please rise in body or spirit as we sing together. We celebrate the web of life.
As we close today, thank you so much for sharing, Mary and Anne. And I invite you all to, as you go throughout your day, maybe be a little more present of the earth, the air, the sun, the precious water that we drink, all that sustains our life. May that ground you. May that restore you even in the heat of the day. Stand and introduce yourself and say a few words about what brought you